Developed by the London Theatre Workshop, the new musical play Judy is writer Ray Rackham's first West End production.
The scariest thing about writing for the theatre is a fear that nobody will see what you see in the piece. Nobody will find what you find interesting.
Judy is a non-linear musical using the extensive back catalogue of Broadway and Hollywood songwriting royalty, from Gershwin to Yip Harburg, Richard Rodgers to Harold Arlen. Its commercial appeal lies in its unusual narrative and the world's fascination with the acclaimed singer and actress Judy Garland. But developing this new musical play meant confronting the stark economic reality of the London fringe.
The London fringe theatre scene is a very harsh and handmade environment. Every single thing is designed, constructed, pieced together for that particular show, and there are no economies of scale or technology. I mean, in some cases, things are begged, borrowed, and stolen for that particular show. Now, we had a succession of micro miracles performed during our first run because so many of the design team, the designers, the creatives behind it just fell in love with not only the piece, but also with Judy.
Judy was first workshopped at the London Theatre Workshop in the autumn of 2014 under its original title, Through the Mill.
We were involved in the original workshop. In fact, I think we're the only two.
There is Belinda.
Oh yes, Belinda.
Like actors Don Cotter and Joe Sheffer, who play MGM movie mogul Louis B. Mayer and Judy's father Frank Gum, respectively, actress Belinda Wollaston has also been with the piece since the first workshop in 2014. Belinda is one of the three actresses who play the legend that is Judy.
When Ray first asked me to read for the part of Palace Judy, I was incredibly nervous because I mean, it's a big ask, and it's a huge honour to even be asked to play Judy Garland. I mean, her voice, the fascinating history, the legacy. I wasn't even sure I could pull it off.
We sat in London Theatre Workshop in a semicircle with Ray at one end reading the stage directions, and I think almost after the first scene we knew we had something special.
Oh, it was really exciting, and in fact I didn't realise at the time that the three Judys in the piece would overlap.
Well, in that it's non-linear, so the three Judys appear at the same time, just in their different time periods.
Well, once I realised that, of course, I knew this was going to be a really different telling of the Judy Garland story.
It was after that first workshop I knew I had to get the show produced on the London Fringe. If the show was to have any longevity, it was going to be on the Fringe.
Every show has to go through some kind of development process, whether it's on the Fringe or whether you workshop it. You can't just take it straight to Shaftesbury Avenue and expect it to be perfect. You need to be able to try out songs, cut things, rework things. So having had that process as part of the development was crucial to getting Judy into the West End.
I heard that they were casting a new play about Judy Garland that was coming to the London Fringe, and the guy who was doing the publicity on it was a friend of mine. So I emailed him straight away and said, you have got to get me seen for this part, please, and he did.
With Helen Shields quickly cast as the older, or CBS Judy, and Belinda Wollaston reprising her role from the initial workshop as Palace Judy, attention turned to finding the final piece of the Garland jigsaw, Young Judy.
We auditioned so many actresses for the part of Young Judy. I mean, this is Judy Garland before The Wizard of Oz, and it's a very difficult part to cast. I mean, she hadn't become Dorothy.
Well, I'd never really thought of myself as a potential Judy Garland before that audition, because my agent submitted me for it. And I'd always loved the films of Judy Garland for years and years and years. But yeah, I never actually thought that I would get the part.
Once we'd found our Judys, work then really started on mounting the production at London Theatre Workshop. Having our own theatre space to hone and to concentrate the piece was entirely liberating.
Once we'd cast the Judys, my job became so much easier. Not only did we have three women who looked like Judy, had her essence, but also could sing with the same apparent ease that Judy did. I remember the first day of a meeting with Ray when I suggested that we should start the play musically with a big, bold sound, just like the girls would eventually sing. The song Over the Rainbow has this octave leap, and not everybody has the ability to sing it so easily, but luckily we found 3 women who could.
After a successful run at the London Theatre Workshop in 2015, the show, still titled Through the Mill, was quickly picked up as a highlight of the 2016 summer season at the highly respected Southwark Playhouse.
The whole journey throughout the 2 productions, both at London Theatre Workshop and at the Southwark Playhouse, was about gathering information. It was about processing that information. It was about listening to what the audiences had to say. It was about listening to our own instincts and our own judgments. And then asking the ultimate question, where do we now take this show?
Hello, we're in the Hippodrome, formerly the Talk of the Town, which of course is where Judy Garland gave her final London appearance in 1969. And I'm sitting with the 3 Judys who are going to star in Judy at the Arts Theatre. So guys, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell me your first memories of Judy.
It has to be The Wizard of Oz. I think that's the initial get-in for everyone because it's on every Christmas and you associate it with so much joyfulness and happy times.
So when you came into this, what attracted you to doing this piece?
It's Judy Garland. It's to play an icon and to be able to sing the songs and to wear the costumes.
You get to see bits of her life that you may not know about, especially CBS. There's a lot of stuff about the CBS years that I personally didn't know about and her struggle. And obviously with my character Palace Judy, there isn't a lot of footage back from that time in her life. So, for me, I feel incredibly honoured to be able to bring her to life at that time.
Palace Judy, of course, is the Palace Theatre on Broadway, which is where she appeared.
Where she brought vaudeville back to Broadway and won a Tony Award.
So what's your favourite Judy Garland track? And what's the favourite one you sing?
The favourite one I sing, Zing When the Strings of My Heart, because it was her audition song to to sign with MGM.
I love doing the Palace medley, which was a song that Roger Edens wrote for Judy. It was a really lovely duet, I think, between the past and the future, and that's definitely one of my favourite numbers to do in the show.
And yours?
Almost Like Being in Love, which I start and then the other Judys join in and then I finish. That's my favourite one.
What have you guys learnt about Judy that you didn't know before?
Her generosity is definitely something that I've taken a lot from this experience.
Really funny, really funny, and always willing to make a joke out of herself, and she was such a warm person, so I think that's what I learned.
So it's 2 years that you've been with the show so far, and we've got a 5-week run at the Arts?
Yes, we do. It's 5 weeks, starting on the opening on the 16th of May and closing on the 17th of June. So it's a lovely little run. And 8 shows a week, and then 1 week we have 9 shows.
The show spans quite a long period, from Young Judy to CBS Judy. So how many years is that in all?
I cover from when she was 12 to when she was 16, so just before she did The Wizard of Oz. So I cover a number of years. And the reason is because those were, it's good to root the development. You can see the development of the characters if you can see her journey and how it all kicked off.
I cover 2 days of her life leading up to the Palace Theatre, but what I do get to do is talk about the past a lot. And I think Palace Judy does cover a lot of the past during that time. Basically, it's just written for me 2 days leading up to the reopening of the Palace Theatre. And all my scenes are with Sid Luft.
And then you take over.
So it was 63 when she made the TV, 62, 63, and she was 41 at the time. So we go from 12 to 41, so 29, 30 years.
And there are times when you're all on stage together, so you've got all these 3 versions
and
existing side by side.
It's very poetic as well, because you can see the ghosts of, what when we're all on stage together and say Helen's doing a scene, you can see the ghosts of her past feeding into the scene, and I think it's a really artistic way of tying us all in together.
Helen and I especially get to watch our younger selves on stage.
So that's informing how we grew and became what we are.
And of course, the joy of Judy is that there's a lot of archival footage. So you guys, have you done a lot of research watching her?
So much.
It's not sure.
It's fun.
Oh God, it's been a joy. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then to honour that legacy is a really brilliant thing.
Unbelievable. We're so lucky.
It's a big honour.
And it's a huge tribute to her as well.